Hey guys, Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. If you're joining us just now in this video, you're in part 6 of a 6-part series. Don't worry, the whole series is linked below. Whether you're watching on YouTube or on the blog, look for the quick links series and get caught up. I think you're gonna love this series. All right, so this is our 6th shortcut card sketch card in our summer sketch series. Now, if you're just joining us, the summer sketch series was based around our 2023-2024 annual catalog paper sampler. So this is the sampler, and when you order the sampler from us at Kitchen Table Stamper, you can get our shortcut card sketches binder with your sampler. Now this was an open-ended sampler that ran the length of this series, and now we are doing our last call. So if you're just joining us, I'll give you all the information, and if you've been on the fence, this is your call. This is your last call for joining us in this series. We are going to close the sampler on the 20th of July. All right, so what is the sampler? It is our 2023-2024 annual catalog paper sampler, and this is how you receive paper samplers from Kitchen Table Stamper. It's labeled so you know exactly what it is later. It's on a 6x12 card, so you can just slide the whole sampler out. We include handmade cards. We'll always include handmade cards with our packages for as long as humanly possible to make that for you. There will be a video for this. Everybody's been asking. When you get your paper, you're going to pick up each stack. When you flip, you get a label with the name, number, price, coordinating colors for your reference, and how to order more. And there's 13 paper samples in this sampler from the 2023-2024 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. All right, so today we are going to use this bright and beautiful designer series paper. So we'll grab that stack and we'll choose some patterns from there. And let's slide this aside. In addition to this paper sampler, you'll receive the shortcut card sketch binder, and inside the binder are 6 laminated shortcut card sketches. All right, so you've seen 1 and then 2. Now you'll see this is how I use my binder, and I suggest you do too. I get these thin page protectors off of Amazon. You can print the project sheets for cards made with that shortcut card sketch. So you can build yourself an idea book. The other thing that you can do, here's shortcut card sketch number 4. It's never before seen. We're debuting this one today. You can also use this with the little page protectors to keep in progress projects. So I highly recommend getting a package of those thin page protectors. I get them on Amazon. I think I've bought them 9 times now because it really makes handy little pockets for keeping all of your inspiration and all of your projects using the shortcut card sketches all contained in the binder. All right, so you get the binder, you get the laminated cards, and that is level 1 of our sampler. Level 2 will include these awesome 3D Basics embossing folders. Now we used these 3D Basics embossing folders on 5 out of the 6 cards in the series. We're going to use this crisscross one today, but I'm also going to show you the same results with this star weave pattern. So that's the star weave, and this is the crisscross, and this is the bubble. All right, now let me show you our card for today. Are you so excited for the new sketch? I have to say I saved my favorite shortcut card sketch card for last. I really love this one. We're going to use that folder. Are you ready? Here is shortcut card sketch number 4. We're going to use the gorgeously made bundle with outside the suite. We're going to take it outside the suite. We're not going to use it with the masterfully made designer series paper. Instead, we're going to pair it up with the bright and beautiful designer series paper. So that's one of the things that we've done throughout this series, is try to take our bundles and our stamp sets outside the suite. Take our designer series paper outside the suite, so you'll have lots of inspiration how to use those 13 samples of paper with the things that maybe Stampin' Up! Didn't pair up for you. All right, so let's go ahead and mix Gorgeously Made and Bright and Beautiful and make this gorgeous card. So we're going to use our shortcut card sketch as our guide here, and our layer A is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So that's our card base, and I have Berry Burst for that, and standard card. And then B, A and B, is 4 by 5 1/4. So here's our Bright and Beautiful Designer Series paper, pattern number 1. I'm using this bubble bath kind of ombre paper. Now C is 1 by 3 inches, and I am going to use this diagonal stripe from Bright and Beautiful. D is 1 by 3.5. I'm going to use this ombre Pretty Peacock paper. E is 1 by 3 3/4. Now I have some Lemon Lime Twist cardstock for that layer. And then F is any shape of your choice for the sentiment. I thought, how perfect to use this little piece that looks like a torn piece of tape. This is one of the dies from the Gorgeously Made dies. And I just cut that with basic white ahead of time. All right, so there's our pieces. Let's take the sketch away. We're gonna do a little treatment on this cardstock piece. Let me show you what we've got here. And I think you're gonna love this. Another little thing I'm saving for last. I've got my Designer Series papers for for 2 of the 3 layers, but I wanted to add a little something to our Lemon Lime Twist. So let me show you my card, and you'll see that we've got a texture and some inking on this layer. And how we're gonna do that, so we're gonna do like a full letterpress technique. We're gonna open our folder, our embossing folder, and we've got Lemon Lime cardstock, so we're gonna use Lemon Lime ink, and you're going to carefully apply some ink to about the bottom third of this folder. Now you're gonna want to pat very gently. You're trying to get the ink only in the raised areas. You don't want to get too much in between. So we've got a little crosshatch pattern here, and we want to keep the ink on the top, just at those raised areas. So very light tapping, just keep adding ink until you get a satisfactory coverage without too much ink in between the lines. All right, so just tap, tap, tap. And then when you've got what you feel like is a pretty good Lemon Lime Twist ink, we're going to put this dude in the folder. I've got my Lemon Lime Twist. I'm going to line it up on the line, the Stampin' Up! Side of the folder, so we get a nice level impression. We're going to close the folder. Now let's grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and run this through. We're embossing with a 3D folder, so we're going to need 1 and 4. Pop the folder on 1 and 4 over the top, and let's give it a crank. And here is our piece, and now it's been letterpressed, so you can see that Lemon Lime Twist ink embedded into that crisscross pattern. It gives us a little bit of a distressed look, some nice texture. And let me show you, let's put this aside. For cleanup, just a little tip, I'll take this into the sink and just run clean water over it until all the ink is gone. No harm, easy cleanup, and really cool texture effects. And of course you can do that with all 3 of the folders from the basics. I thought this pattern would work pretty well too. This is our star weave done with the faux letter press. All right, let's go ahead and put our card together here. We're gonna need to do some die cutting. So we're gonna bring our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine back in with our plates 2 and 3, and then 3 on top. We're gonna do this awesome notebook top, and that's one of the dies from Gorgeously Made. Got that one right here. We're going to line up our paper looking at the die. All right, so this is the front of our paper. We're gonna put that against the die, and then we're gonna slide this until we like where the notebook paper starts and stops. Do you see that? What you don't want is like one big piece over here and then a great big hole in the side. You want it to kind of start with the same piece that it ends with. Let me show you mine before we do that. Okay, so you see how mine starts with half of a tab and half of a tab it ends. Instead of having a whole tab be the start and the end be a great big hole. Do you see that? So you really want to just pay attention to where you put this die across the top of your paper. And I find the easiest way to do that is to put the paper face down against the die and then kind of slide right to left until you get what you're looking for. Now I'm going to flip, make sure that it's level. You want to see just a hair of the paper above the die. Then I'm just using some old washi tape. You can use whatever, Post-it, low-tack tape, whatever you like there. And now this is a speed bump for your die cut machine. So put it so that it's at an angle when it reaches the pressure point in the machine, and you will have less clunking and a nicer cut. You'll see that it approaches the machine on a short angle instead of all the way across the wide edge. And you see almost no noise, no clanking, no hard speed bump that your machine has to go over. All right, now let's do the reveal. I'm going to just remove our adhesive gently. Look at that. It's perforated and has a tab top. We have even start and stop. So really cool. All right, love that. Now we need some of the botanicals from Gorgeously Made Dies. We've got Lemon Lime Twist and Pretty Peacock. I'm gonna do the sprig with Pretty Peacock and this leafy vine from Lemon Lime Twist. All right, let's give a crank. And because we've got two very detailed cuts going through the machine at one time, I am going to run this forward and just take my time so that everything stays in place. And then once I get to the end of the sprig, then I'm gonna run back through over the sprig and over the vine again. And you wanna go slow so nothing jumps. You want to cut twice in exactly the same place. If you hit these too hard, too fast, and the die jiggles, then you've ruined your cut instead of made a deeper and easier to remove cut. Look how easy that is to remove. Awesome. And that was two very detailed pieces going through the machine at one time, so they really do make a nice cut. All right, let's get these and weed them out. Somebody asked me about this. Do all those little pieces come out? And the answer is no. It's more of like I said it was like a comma or a quotation mark. It's a little, it cuts a little detail, but it's not a full oval or a full tear shape to like clean the leaves out. You don't weed this out. It's just a nice texture in each of those little small leaves. You only weed out in between the branches. Now for this one, you're going to actually weed out half of the leaf, you see, so that's a full cut. And of course you could leave them in if you want to for a different look entirely. You could cut it out of a different shade of green and then pop those right back in and you'll have a two-tone leaf. So there's lots of options there for your foliage. All right, let's do some stamping now. I've got the Gorgeously Made stamp set. It's a rubber stamp set. And I've got Pebbled Path and Pretty Peacock. All right, I'm going to put the text background directly on to the Designer Series paper. I'm using Pebbled Path on this Bubble Bath Designer Series paper. I think it's a fantastic combination. Really good color combo. We're just gonna do one, then slide over to the right and kind of nest the 2, and then back to the left and kind of nest 3. Now we need our label. I love this. It looks like torn tape, which I think is pretty darn cool. We're going to stamp thank you off to the right on this label. Let's see if I can get it level. Looking through the camera here. All right, take a deep breath and own it. Not too bad. All right, that's our stamping. Now let's bring our letterpress pieces back in here. I think this time we're going to have to use the star so that we'll have one sample of each. Got our card base and our other 2 pieces for the sketch. Let's bring our sketch back in here. All right, our first layer, B. Let's adhere that with some liquid glue. I'm going to avoid these little tabs, whatever they are at the top, and center this. Then I'm going to run my finger along these just underneath a little bit and lift some of them, bend some of them a little bit, just so that it has that look of being pulled out of a notebook. Not sloppy, just kind of gently lifted. All right, now we're going to start with our C pattern, the smallest little, the short guy. They're all 1 inch, but this is 1 by 3. Put that maybe, I don't know what that is, maybe a 3/8 of an inch from the bottom with the right edge against our designer series paper background. Then we'll bring in our texture, our faux letterpress. Isn't that just the coolest thing? You're going to have tons and tons of fun and options for faux letter pressing with this 3D Basics embossing folders. And if you want those included in your summer sketch and sampler package, just register for level 2. All right, now our pretty peacock ombre stripes. Next up is our botanicals. Now you can use the adhesive sheets on the back of this, or just simply dot some of the leaves around the outside of the sprig. You can just put your thumb and index finger right in the center. Do you see how I'm holding it? Keep the glue off of me and just dotting all the way around. Tiny little dots. You don't need a lot of adhesive. Then you can place your lemon lime twist sprig. Just pat down and secure with those dots of adhesive. No mess, simple, inexpensive. All right, same with this guy. You're gonna go on these wider spaces, especially around the outside of the design, a little bit down the stem, maybe in the center there. Tiny dots, and it is going to be neat, tidy, no mess, and plenty secure. And just pat those little glue spots into place. All right, now we're gonna further secure our sprigs along the bottom by adding our thank you greeting. Just a tiny touch lower than the pretty peacock ombre stripe paper. Now for some more fun. Are you ready for this? I have got the 2023-2025 in color jute trim. Got the pebbled path right here. You're going to take about a foot of this, and then we are going to untwist it. So you want about a foot, because as you're untwisting the top, you're gonna end up with this a little bit frayed. So you want it just a little bit longer than you might need. You might really only need like 10 inches. And how often do I say you're gonna need more? But for this one, the ends ravel a little bit. So you wanna have a little bit extra room to cut off the ends. What I'm doing is holding the two, it's 3 strands. I'm holding the strands separate at the top. I'm twisting or untwisting with my thumb and middle finger as my index finger separates these. That's how you're going to get them apart with the least amount of fraying, the least amount of damage. Right now we're going to tie that into a bow and leave long tails so you can trim off what's gotten a little fuzzy at the end. All right, let's take some ribbon scissors and clean up the ends. Haha, love it. I'm going to get some mini glue dots. Got my mini glue dots. I'm going to roll one up using my Take Your Pick tool. I like this piercing end, and we're going to roll it so that we get kind of a little tube of adhesive on the point of the Take Your Pick tool. Then we'll take that tube of adhesive, put it on the knot on the back of our bow. Then we'll bring our bow, we can kind of hover and decide where we want to position it. When we've got what we like, touch the knot and pull the tool out. And there is perfect placement for your little jute fiber bow. I love gorgeously made dies with the Petal Park Builder Punch. We're going to make some flowers here to accent our design with a scrap of Berry Burst cardstock. We're punching the medium and the small flower. And if you hang around kitchen tables, Stamper at all, you know what's next. We're going to bring in our Stampin' Pierce mat and grab the Take Your Pick tool again. Got the putty end with the cap on. We're going to press into the center of these flowers, which is going to give us the perfect cup shape blooms. Then you can use a mini glue dot here, so some liquid adhesive. Put a dot of liquid adhesive on the small flower and drop the small one right into the center of the medium one. And now we've got a beautiful dimensional flower, and we made that from scraps. Pretty cool, huh? All right. Now here you can adhere with a glue dot and you'll get instant grab. But if you're not in a hurry, the liquid glue works great. And just add a dab on the back and then place it right up next to the knot. And what I'll do to preserve the shape of my flower is bring my Take Your Pick tool back in and press from the center and pull the petals up just a little bit. Now it's secured to the card and we've reinforced that beautiful flower shape. We're going to embellish with these adhesive backed sequin trio. I love this trio. You get this gorgeous bubble bath, pretty peacock, and then a frosted white iridescent sequin. You get two sizes and it's 300 pieces. So this is a lot of bling for your buck, and it's nice and thin and lightweight and easy to mail. So one of the large ones right in the center, and then I'm just going to do kind of a sprinkle of dingles here. I like odd numbers, except for when I do two. I'm kind of dingle challenged. Sometimes I don't know where to put the dingles, so I'll just put two. If you're having any dexterity issues with picking up the dingles and placing them, you can take off the other end of the Take Your Pick tool. This is really nice, and use this in a two-handed fashion. So you'll pick up your jingle with the putty end, you'll hover and then place with the pointy end. You see? So it makes it even easier to use this tool. All right, that is it. This concludes our summer sketch series for the 2023-2024 annual catalog paper sampler. If you're interested in getting the sampler and the shortcut card sketch binder, you have until the 20th of July to do so. It's a paper sampler, so because of Stampin' Up's rules, you have to email me, ask me for the link to join, and I will send you level 1, level 2 links. You can decide which level you want to join at. The level 1 includes 13 paper samples, including all the papers we used in this Shortcut Cards sketch series. The binder with the laminated sketches. Level 2 includes all 13 paper samples, the binder with the laminated sketches, and the 3D Basics embossing folders. All right, you guys, I hope that you'll give this a try. And if you've got any questions at all, reach out, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. And to shop Stampin' Up 24/7, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.